All right. Welcome to episode 5 of the ClearVision Hockey podcast. Today I'm actually alone. This is a solo Naldi Rogan podcast. So we're going to get going here. There's a few things I really wanted to discuss, kind of hop on here and hopefully help some goalies, help some players, help some athletes. And that's the goal of this whole company and this whole podcast. So hopefully we can get into that. I also set up some donations in the podcast. There should be PayPal and things like that. That just really helps us with our coaching, get the video reviews set up for everybody. Those are big things, getting the ice times available so we can do on-ice stuff as well, in-person stuff. So those will be available. Anything you guys can do to help, I really appreciate. But let's really get into this week's episode. So what I kind of want to start off with is a quote. We do not rise to the standards we have when others are watching. We fall to the standards we have when no one is watching. The only work that really matters is the work that no one sees. It shows you who you really are rather than who you say you are. So this really hits home for me and hopefully for a lot of athletes. First things first, everybody practices. We all practice, we all play games. And it's not saying that playing games does not matter when everyone's watching. But I hope a lot of you have seen the quote, and I'll share it as well. Games are the fun part. That's why they're called games, right? The work comes in practice. The work comes in dry land. It comes in your workouts. It comes when no one's watching, or it comes when the quote-unquote bright lights aren't showing. So I kind of wanted to share a couple stories. The first one, when I was going into my freshman year, so going to Nichols College, I obviously had my goalie coach skates. Those with my goalie coach, those would be twice a week. And then I would try to get once a week, just ice, me and my brother, just whatever we can get, mornings, afternoons, whatever. So this week, my brother was working, so he couldn't make it. And this was a few weeks. Every once in a while, it would just be me. So I would go on the ice. And this day, I happened to be completely alone. 5 a.m. at 6 a.m., nobody out on the ice. Not another player, not another goalie, no coaches. I got the ice to myself. Just happened to be there's morning ice, and I was the only one that showed up. And during this skate, I have a little tripod made of tape so I could set up my phone and record myself. My buddy Jack Lee. Jack, if you're watching this, you'll know the little tape tripod I'm talking about to record our some skill sessions and stuff like that. So I had that set up. I had that going with music, and I had that recording myself so I could watch it back. And I was just doing skating drills, obviously, no shooter. So I was running through skating drills. I was doing RVH push-offs to my feet, post, near side dot, post, middle, post, far side dot, over and over and over again, just to get comfortable. Just kept doing it, just kept doing it, just kept doing it. And I'm alone. So I did this on Tuesday. Thursday comes around, doing the same thing. Boom, boom, boom. All alone, skating drills, listen to music. And the rink that I'm at happens to be the practice rink for the Silver Knights in the American League. So every morning those guys walk in, whatever, it is what it is. I don't really know the coaches. I don't know anybody. This Thursday, I'm doing my skating drills. The goalie coach for the Silver Knights, Freddie Brathwaite, I haven't met, never seen him, don't know that he's coming. He's walking in the rink to get ready for practice. So I'm still just doing my drills. He walks in behind. I can't see him. And there's a knock over at the door of the rink. I look over, and it's Freddie. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I go skate over there. I'm like, hey, how's it going? So he's like, hey, I've seen you skating out here a couple times. I like your skating. I like what you're doing. Would you want to stay out and skate with the Silver Knights later? I was like, of course, yeah, for sure. So I got his phone number. I was able to skate with the Silver Knights. I was able to do more practices down the road. I was able to actually do a morning skate with the team, meet Yuri Patera, meet all these guys that in my position at the time, going into my freshman year, I didn't think I would be able to have that opportunity. But because of the work I was doing with nobody in the rink, again, you never know who's watching, but I assume nobody's watching. I was doing the work and I was rewarded. Now, this is not an example to pump my tires or anything like that. I'm just saying this is a clear example of doing the work when no one's watching can lead to amazing opportunities, amazing things. Things I never thought would happen come from that. And another story I really like is not about me, but from Mitch Korn, the goalie director for the Predators, used to be goalie coach of the Sabres, Predators, Islanders, one of the best in the world. So Mitch, before he worked for the Sabres, was just doing some video review with high school goalies. They would sit in a room, whole classroom, and he was running through videos, showing them, doing what he does when no one's watching. And this day, Scotty Bowman, the GM of the Sabres at the time, happened to be watching, just kind of snuck in and was watching the video review. And he was watching how dialed in he was to the goalies, how he was looking the goalies in the eyes when he talked to them, how he was communicating. He was dialed into this high school goalie video session. And from that point on, he got the job as a goalie coach for the Buffalo Sabres, ended up working with Dominic Hasek, in my opinion, the best goalie of all time. And all that came from the work he was doing when no one's watching. Again, we do not rise to the standards we have when others are watching. We fall to the standards we have when no one is watching. So in those big games, when you think everyone's watching, okay, these are my standards now, it's not gonna be there for you. But if every day, every practice, every workout, you have the standard when no one's watching, that's when it's really gonna matter. That's when all the work comes to fruition and it'll show you who you really are, what you really can do. Because you know, hey, I know that I put in the work, and that is the ultimate motivation and ultimate reassurance that I've put in the work. I know I can do whatever it may be, right? And like I said, everyone practices with their coach, and I know for a fact I've done it. Everyone's done it. Coach is watching this rep. I gotta be more intense. I gotta show good. But what you don't know, from me being on both sides, I've seen the coach's side and the player side. Coaches will watch when they think you're not watching, right? Or when they know you're not, when the coach isn't watching. So they'll look over, see if you maybe bag a rep or you take it off because coach, quote unquote, isn't watching. Those reps when coach is watching, those should just be the same as every other rep. Every rep needs to be the exact same. The 6 a.m. work, when no one's watching, when it's just your mom taking you to practice, that is what really matters. That's what's going to fuel you in the championship game or whatever it might be. Another really good story, I know I told the story, the Pecorine story, when he wasn't practicing or wasn't playing that game, wasn't starting, and scouts came to see him, and they watched his warm-up, and he wasn't starting. See how he warmed up when maybe he could take a night off. Maybe he knew nobody was there for him necessarily. And they saw good habits, good tracking, good skating, good compete. He was continuing to get better even though he wasn't playing. And that got him the ball rolling to start to become one of the best ever, have his jersey retired in Nashville, right? So there's countless other stories of things like this. But any young athlete, old athlete, coach, it's what matters when no one's watching. It matters when nobody is counting the reps for you, just you. Nobody can see you sweating. Nobody can see you put in the work. Nobody can see you bagging yourself. amazing thing happened. Like I said, I was able to skate with American Hockey League team going in my freshman year when I thought I was just having a 6 a.m. skate by myself with some music on. It's fun, and I thought, and that it has to be it. It has to be fun for you. It can't be work. It can't be, oh, I got to go to the rink. It has to be, because it's not going to come that way. It's funny how that works. If you go, oh, I'm going because I want somebody to see me, no one's going to see you. If you go, and you go because you know it's right, then things start to happen. Then doors start to open. So again, I'm alone, so there's not too much to talk about, but I hope you guys got something out of this, something out of that quote. It's a great quote. If you have to go back and rewind, write it down, put it in your phone. It's awesome. We do not rise to the standards we have when others are watching. We fall to the standards we have when no one is watching. So do the work when no one's watching so you can reign the rewards when everyone's watching. Hope you guys enjoyed episode 5 of the ClearVision Hockey podcast. And remember, keep your vision clear, and your goal is ours. Thanks, everybody.